making music for a child's heart, body, and mind.
Welcome to another class. Last week we started a new topic, which is binary and decimal, and I introduced the topic and as well taught you how to convert from decimal to binary. So today we'll be looking at the other side of it, converting from binary to decimal. I would really like you to pay attention and concentrate as I take you through this topic. And I must quickly say that I'm impressed with your performance in the last class. So I still hope you do better with today's class. So join me as we go through the new topic for today. Alright, conversion of binary to decimal, that is from base 2 to base 10. Alright, we have an instruction here. I will take you through the instruction. It might not really make sense at the onset, but by the time we apply it to 1, 2, 3 examples, you will quite understand what we're talking about. So let's read through the instruction. To convert binary, that's base 2 to decimal, base 10. From right to left, raise each digit to power starting from 0. Then multiply each digit by 2 raised to the power of the digit we have said earlier. Then you finally sum up all that you have. I take it once again. To convert binary to decimal, from right to left, raise each digit to power starting from 0. Then you multiply each digit by 2 raised to the power of the digit. Then you finally sum up all that you have. It looks a little complex, but by the time we apply it step by step, you will quite understand it. But before we go to example, I would quickly like to give us a tip about power, the things you need to know about power. For example, the first thing I want you to know is this. Any number raised to the power of 0 gives you 1. Take note of that. Any number at all raised to the power of 0 gives you 1. For example, when you have 2 raised to the power 0, the answer must be what? 1. It doesn't matter if it's 5 raised to the power 0, the answer is what? 1. It doesn't matter if it's 7. So any number at all raised to the power of 0 gives you 1. Another thing I would like you to know about is that a number raised to the power of 1 gives you that number itself. So 2 raised to the power 1 gives you what? 2. 5 raised to the power 1 gives you what? 5. And of course, you know how to solve other powers. For example, 2 raised to the power 2. What does it mean? It means 2 times 2, and your answer is what? 4. 2 raised to the power 3 means what? 2 times 2 times 2, and your answer is what? 8. Don't make mistake. 2 raised to the power 3 is not 2 times 3, 6. It is 2 multiplied by itself 3 times. That is 2 times 2 times 2, and that gives you 8. So once you understand these tips, we can move on to example now and apply what we have talked about. Right, let's take a look at examples. The instruction says convert the following binaries to decimals. That is numbers in base 2 to base 10. Alright, number 1, 10 base 2. This is a number in base 2. You can see the subscript here. So we are expected to express this as a decimal. So the first thing you do is this: separate the digits 1 and 0. So the first thing you have in your instruction is that you should raise them to the power starting from your right hand side. This is the last number on the right hand side. So you start raising them to power starting from 0. So this one will be power what? 0. Next thing is what? Power 1. You don't have other digits, so you stop here. So next thing to do now is you pick the first digit here, which is what? 1. Multiply it by 2. Why are we multiplying by 2? Because we are in base 2. So this 2 now is what you will raise to the power of this 1. The power of this 1 is 1. So you put it here, bracket it with plus. Open another bracket. Come to the second digit, which is 0. You pick the 0, multiply it by 2. We are multiplying by 2, all true. Okay? So what do you do to your 2? You raise this 2 to the power of your 0 here, which is what? 0. And you stop. Because that's all. Alright? Now let's go to the next step. You still open your bracket. 1 is here, you have your 1 times. What is 2 raised to the power 1? Like I told you earlier, any number raised to the power 1 gives you that number itself. So 2 raised to the power 1 is what? 2. You close the bracket. You move on. 0 times. What is 2 raised to the power 0? Anything raised to the power 0 gives you what? 1. So that gives you what? 1. Alright, let's move on. 1 times 2 gives you 2. Plus 0 times 1. Of course, anything multiplied by 0 gives you 0. So 0 times 1 gives you what? 0. So what is 2 plus 0? The answer is 2. So therefore, what do you say? 10 base 2 in binary as a decimal gives you what? 2. Alright, example 2. Convert 110 base 2 to decimal. Like I told you, you separate the digits, it becomes 1, 1, 0. Then starting from the right end, raise each digit to power, starting from 0. This will be power 0, power 1, and power 2. Isn't it? So you multiply each digit by 2 now. So the first digit here is what? 1. That's times 2. And raise to the power of the 1, which is 2. Keep it in bracket. Plus. Don't forget we are multiplying inside the bracket, but we're adding outside. So the second digit is what? 1. Multiply by 2 again. And raise to the power of the 1, which is what? 1. You add again. Next one is 0. Multiply 0 by 2 and raise to the power of this 0, which is what? 0. Okay, let's try to solve out. So you still have your 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 2? That is 2 times 2. That gives you 4. Plus 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 1? That gives you 2 itself. Plus 0 times, what is 2 raised to power 0? Don't forget, anything raised to power 0 gives you 1. Alright, so let's open up the bracket. 1 times 4, 4. Plus 1 times 2, 2. Plus 0 times 1, 0. 4 plus 2, 6. 6 plus 0 gives you 6. What do you say? Therefore, 110 base 2 as a decimal gives you what? Number 6. Alright, example 3. Convert 1111 base 2 to decimal. This is a binary number. So what you do is separate the digits. 1, 1, 1, 1. Starting from the right hand side, let's raise to power, starting from 0. 0, power 1, power 2, and power 3. So the next step is to multiply each digit by 2 and raise it to the powers. So we'll start with the first digit here. 1 times 2. The 1 power is 3, so you put it here. Plus second digit, 1 times 2. The power is 2. The third digit is still 1. 1 times 2. The power is 1. And the last digit, 1 times 2. The power is 0. Alright? Next thing is to actually solve the powers. So you still have your 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 3? Mind you, 2 raised to power 3 is 2 times 2 times 2. That's 2 multiplied by itself 3 times. 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2 is 2. 2 raised to power 3 is 8. Plus 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 2? That is 4. Plus 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 1? That is 2. Plus 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 0? Anything raised to power 0 gives you 1. Alright? So let's open up the bracket. 1 times 8, 8. Plus 1 times 4, 4. Plus 1 times 2, 2. Plus 1 times 1, 1. Alright? So the next thing is to sum up. 8 plus 4, 12. 12 plus 2, 14. 14 plus 1, 15. So what do you have? Therefore, 1111 base 2 as a decimal is what? Number 15. Number 4. 1101 base 2. So let's separate our digits. 1101. So you raise it to power starting from the right hand side. Power 0, power 1, power 2, power 3. So let's multiply each digit by 2 and raise it to the power. So the first digit here is what? 1 times 2 raised to power 3. Plus, second digit is 1. That's 1 times 2 raised to power 2. Plus, third digit is 0. That will be 0 times 2 raised to power 1. Plus, the last digit is 1. 1 times 2 raised to power what? 0. Okay? Let's solve the powers. 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 3? 2 raised to power 3 is 8. 8 plus 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 2? That is 4. Plus 0 times, what is 2 raised to power 1? That is 2. Plus 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 0? That is 1. Anything raised to power 0 is 1, remember? Okay, let's open our bracket. 1 times 8, 8. 1 times 4, 4. 0 times 2 is 0. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Plus 1 times 1, which is what? 1. So let's solve. 8 plus 4, 12. 12 plus 0, 12. 12 plus 1, 13. So what do you say? Therefore, 1101 base 2 as a decimal gives you what? 13. Number 5, and this will be our last example for today. 1000 base 2 as a decimal. So let's separate our digits. That gives you 1, 0, 0, and 0. Let's raise it to power starting from the right hand side. This will be power 0, power 1, power 2, power 3. Okay? So we need to multiply each digit by 2 and raise it to the power. So we'll start with the first digit, which is what? 1. That's 1 times 2 raised to the power 3. Plus second digit is 0. 0 times 2 raised to the power what? 2. Plus third digit, which is still what? 0. 0 times 2 raised to the power what? 1. Plus the last digit, which is what? 0. That's 0 times 2 raised to the power 0. Okay? So let's solve the powers. 1 times what is 2 raised to the power 3? That's 8. Plus 0 times what? 2 raised to the power 2 is 4. Plus what? 0 times 2 raised to the power 1 is still 2. Plus what? 0 times 2 raised to the power 0, which is what? 1. Okay? So let's solve out the bracket. 1 times 8, 8. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. And 0 times 1 is what? 0. So 8 plus 0 gives you what? 8. So what do you say? Therefore, 1000 base 2 gives you what? Number 8. I feel we should still take one more example. I notice all the examples we have considered, the highest power has been 3. So I really want us to exceed that. Let's take the last example for today, example 6. Express 111011 base 2 as a decimal. So let's separate the digits. 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Next step is to raise them to power from the right, starting from 0. 0, power 2, sorry, power 1, power 2, power 3, power 4, and power 5. This is power 2. Alright, let's multiply by 2 and raise it to the power. The first one here is what? 1. That's 1 times 2 raised to power 5. Plus second digit is still 1. 1 times 2 raised to power 4. Plus third digit is still 1. 1 times 2 raised to power 3. The next one is 0. That's plus 0 times 2 raised to power 2. Next one is what? 1. That's 1 times 2 raised to power 1. Plus, sorry, I have to go to the other side. That's 1 times 2 raised to power 0. Alright, let's solve the power now. This gives us 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 5? Take your time to do this. Don't rush over it. 2 raised to power 5 means 2 multiplied by itself 5 times. That is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 2, 16. 16 times 2, 32. So 2 raised to power 5 is what? 32. Plus 1 times, what is 2 raised to power 4? That's 16. That is 2 times itself 4 times. Plus 2 raised to power 3 is what? 8. Plus 0, not it. Don't make mistake, because you have been writing 1. Don't write 0. So this will be what? 0 times 2 raised to power 2 is 4. Plus 1 times 2 raised to power 2 is 2. And the last one, 2 raised to power 0 gives you what? 1. Alright, let's open the bracket. 1 times 32, 32. 1 times 16, 16. 1 times 8 is 8. 0 times 4 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 1 is 1. So we need to solve. Be careful with your addition too. Alright. 32 plus 16 should give you 48. 48 plus 8 should give you 56. 56 plus 0 should give you 56. 56 plus 2 should give you 58. And 58 plus 1 should give you what? 59. So what do you say? Therefore, 111011 base 2 gives you 59 as a decimal. Alright, Salonics, this brings us to the end of today's class. I really hope you understand the class. Like I always tell you, listen to the video carefully. The questions for the example will be in your note. You are expected to copy the solution from the video. Take your time to watch the solution step by step. You can check for your classwork and homework after now. Copy your note and watch the video for explanation. See you some other time. Bye for now.